Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is at the end of this video is to show you guys online jobs that you can do working from home as an introvert. Now, if this is your guys' first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I am the virtual ate, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursdays on shortcuts on how to work from home. So make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button right there so you guys never miss a video. Now, if you guys are an introvert and you're excited for this video, make sure to leave a like so I know that I'm not alone because I'm actually an introvert. I get recharged when I am working alone, when I'm working in my room with no one else around, unlike an extrovert who gets energized by being surrounded by a lot of other people. So this list I've made specifically for a lot of you guys who've been asking, what can I do if I'm actually super duper shy, which is actually a very common thing when it comes to you getting started working online. Because most of the time, us people who want to start working online are actually introverts who just kind of want to stay at home, kind of want to be on our own cave. So these are going to be jobs that you can now put into a specific job engine, whether that's going to be Upwork, onlinejobs.ph, Facebook groups. These are jobs that people are right now hiring for. They can do working from home. Now make sure to watch until the end of this video for the one job that you can do even if you have no experience at all and you are an introvert. Now the first kind of job that you can do as an introvert is actually a content manager. Now a content manager is someone who manages content. So nowadays content is still king. A lot of different businesses still want to put out at least one type of content, whether that's a blog post, whether that's a YouTube video, whether that is a graphic on Instagram. So a lot of companies are always looking for people who can help them keep that together. So if you're an introvert, being a content manager is something that you can do because you have less interaction with people and you're mostly kind of helping them strategize, helping them plan out their own content. So then they're able to be more organized when it comes to putting out their content on social media, on their website, or anywhere else online. So that's the first kind of job, is just content manager. You're someone who helps them implement their content. The next type of job that you can do as an introvert is now editor or proofreader. Now, if you're someone who has been tagged as a grammar Nazi before, this is definitely something for you. And of course, this is a dream job for people who love to read books because you're actually going to be paid to read books, to read manuscripts, to read people's articles, and just make sure that they are error-free. That's your job as an editor or a proofreader. And this is a fairly fast job to get, especially because a lot of content creators, they get too close to what they're working on that they do miss a few grammar errors because, again, they're just writing on their own, they're just blurting out their own content. So they tend to miss a lot of the errors that usually would take someone else to look at. So you're basically kind of the second eyes of someone else's content to just make sure that it's clean and it's understandable for people. Most of the time, as an editor or proofreader, you're mostly communicating with the client through email. So again, less interactions. The next kind of job that you can do as an introvert is graphic designer or graphic artist. So this could be something where you're creating a few social media posters for someone, or you're creating ebook covers, or you're creating a whole branding kit for someone just to showcase their brand. That's what part of what you do as a graphic designer is. You're mostly going to be talking to your client, again, through email, through just chats of back and forth on feedback when you're working on a project. But this is more really an in-depth, you don't have to talk to anyone while you're working on something other than your client going back and forth. So this is quickly, if you're someone already who's more graphically inclined, you're more of an artist that way, then this is a job that you can search for right now in different job sites, and you can probably find someone who's hiring for this specific job position. Next is IT manager. So IT managers are mostly techies, mostly people who love deep diving on tech, making sure that other people know how to use it, how to understand it, so everyone else in the virtual office are able to use it. So that's what an IT manager does. If like a software that your company is using breaks, then it's your job to help them figure out what it was, or to contact their support, or do whatever it is to keep the ball rolling when it comes to using of that tool. So an IT manager, again, not much a lot of interaction with other people, probably mostly back and forth through email, maybe rarely any calls, but again, this is something where you're kind of just deep diving and working on a specific tool or a specific system, so you don't really have to talk to anyone other than when you're trying to figure out something for someone. Next is then a social media manager. Now, it's weird because it has the word social at the top of it, but when you're a social media manager, you're not really interacting with people as yourself, you're interacting with people as the brand or your client that you're managing. So a social media manager is someone who looks at someone's comments, replies to it, makes sure that that their content calendar is well maintained, that things are always going out. It's making sure that whatever platform you're using, you're making sure that the post or type of content that you're putting out is actually seen by other people. So that's what a social manager does. Even though, again, you're going to be interacting with people online, you're going to be maybe replying to a few messages or replying to a couple of comments. You're not interacting with other people as yourself. You're representing someone else. So it's not that scary. I definitely had that fear when I started interacting when I was working with authors before, but I was interacting as them, not really me. It took a little bit of the pressure off because, again, I wasn't really communicating with people one-on-one. It was through someone else. Next, if you are more kind of coding inclined, you're someone who likes creating apps on websites, then being a software programmer is another job that you can do as an introvert. Same thing, you don't really do a lot of calls. It's just mostly emailing back and forth with the client, but you are creating websites, you're creating mobile apps, you are helping your client figure out the most complicated things, but for you, it's super simple what to do next. So that was a software programmer does. You're making sure that if your client wants to have this part of their website up, you're the one who takes care of that and make sure that it gets done. Again, this is a job with minimum back and forth because you're mostly having them check like, is this good? No? Okay. I'll repair it. So you're that kind of person of any time that something on their website breaks, anytime that they need to have, a new counter for how many people finish their program on their site, that's the thing that you can do as a software programmer. Next kind of job is technical writer. So if you're someone who likes creating how-to articles or likes creating manuals, as a technical writer, you are someone who makes something that really seems complicated be simple in words so people can follow it and understand it. So if you're someone who's more of a systems person, in other words, you can break down a really complicated how-to into really simple steps that people can understand and follow, then being a technical writer is now a job that you can totally handle because that's all you're going to be doing. You're going to make sure the procedures are well documented. You're going to make sure the systems are up to date. You're making sure that people can understand what you put out as a technical writer. Another online job that you can do as an introvert is office administrator or office admin. Now, this is one of the basic online jobs that you can do. It's one of the jobs that you can do even without much experience. You're basically someone who helps handle the employees or the clients, making sure that things run smoothly, or you're also taking care of your boss. You're making sure that they show up on time to different meetings, different setups. If you guys want more information of what an office administrator or a virtual assistant can do, you guys can check out this video that I just did on different services that you can offer as a virtual assistant, and office administration is one of them. This is a type of job where you're really more behind the scenes. You're helping someone else, grow their business. So you're not, again, in the front lines. So you're probably not going to be doing a lot of calls. You're probably, again, just emailing back and forth. So there's not a lot of social interaction with this kind of job. Next is if you're more of a math person, a virtual bookkeeper is a job that you can definitely do online. It's where you help your clients with their reports, with their financial reports, with planning out what would be the great strategy for the next quarter. It's where you track their receipts, their documentation, so they can file their taxes later, and of course, have them be able to make smart decisions later on when it comes to deciding what to do next with the company. So as a virtual bookkeeper, this is something that you're probably just going to be talking to your client one-on-one. You're probably not going to talk to everyone else in the company. You're just making sure that their numbers are right, that your numbers are accurate when it comes to money, incoming and outgoing money inside of the company. Another job that you can do if you love math and if you love data, following data, is a data scientist. So you're someone who can collect like a really big bunch of data, how many people in your city love spaghetti, for example, and you're kind of keep narrowing down, okay, what kind of spaghetti? Is it meatball spaghetti? Is it carbonara? Is it with cream based or tomato based? You have a knack to look at a piece of data and you're like, oh, this is the data we need, or this is how we can get this data. So a data scientist is someone who can help a client really make it simple for them to understand a piece of data they were just given. So let's say they just ran a Facebook ad where there's a lot of data that they got. They found out that they can have a reach in Europe, they have a reach in Australia. Okay, so how do we know which type of content actually they liked? So it can get really nerdy, it can get really complicated. But when you're a data scientist, you're going into deep work where you're not interacting with a lot of people until it comes to the point where you're showing your client what the data says. Another type of job that you can do online as an introvert is freelance translator. Now, this is a job that even I've done, where I basically took a bunch of recordings that were in my native language and then I translated them into English for an article later. This is something that if you are someone who is interested in just generally just listening to something, typing it out, and then translating it to another language. If that's something that you can naturally do, being a freelance translator comes into play because you're just plugging in, you're listening to a recording, you're translating it, done. It's not super complicated. You're not going back and forth with someone. It's just listening, type it out, you read it again and it makes sense, and then you send it to a client for whatever use that they do, whether it's going to be an article, it's going to be for a book, or again, for whatever use that they have that they needed specific audio or specific text translated. Another online job for an introvert that you can do is now a blogger or an article writer. So if you are someone who already loves writing, already has been creating content where it's written and you're putting it on LinkedIn, on your own blog, on Facebook, this is definitely something you can dive in. And this is something that, again, a lot of people are looking for because, again, content. It's another type of content, and people are always looking to put out more content to build up their credibility online. So when you are a blogger, an article writer, this is, again, a type of job that people are always looking for. So if you are already an introverted writer, this is an easier job to get than you think. Next one is then email support. Now, this is if you have no experience at all, you kind of just going into it, you're just wanting to start an online job. Email support is one of the easiest types for an introvert because you're usually given a bunch of templates to just reply to people if they ask for a certain thing. The most that you're probably going to be doing is you're going to ask your manager, your supervisor, your client, hey, this is not in any of the templates. What do I do? So when you're in email support, you're someone who's just replying to customer emails like, hey, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this does. Can you guys do this? So this is most of the time have already templates that you just type in a keyword and then you already know what to reply. You don't even have to talk to, again, your client, your supervisor, and your manager a lot of the time because this is all usually very systematized already. So again, even if you have no experience at all, being email support is an entry job that you can do because everything is already systematized. A lot of the time, you just have to kind of use your brain to figure out what to do next when serving a specific customer. Now, make sure to comment below what kind of job you're now thinking of doing as an introvert if you want to work online. I hope you guys enjoyed that list. Again, you can input any of that inside of different job sites and you can find people who are already looking for you. Now, of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like button right there. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there to get my tips and shortcuts every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. And make sure to check out these other two videos right here so you get more insights when it comes to building your digital career. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. And remember that small steps matters. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!